Yo, what up, y'all? It's Middleman TV in the building. Gotta give y'all this, feel me, this action. And we gotta talk about this boxing stuff, man. A lot going on in the boxing world, as always. We gotta get right into it, man. We're gonna cover the Riyadh show over the weekend. I didn't go live to talk about the show. We gotta talk about Terrence Crawford pulling up on Teofimo in Saudi Arabia and really letting them know what it is. And just the energy change from Teofimo Lopez. I don't think anybody expected that, man. Shakur Stevenson with a dominating performance. Took him longer than expected to get him out of there. But at the end of the day, man, Shakur, I've been watching this guy for a long time. I already know what it is with this guy. We're gonna unfold all of that. We're gonna unfold Gervonta Davis's antics after the Shakur fight, his comments, and what we think about that. Gervonta fights next week. We got a lot to unfold, man. And we gonna unfold it, man. You know what I'm saying? Here on Middleman TV. Cause on here we don't I was watching Southpaw the other day or yesterday. He was just literally dick munching on just munching on Gervonta Davis, man. We can't respect that on any channel. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep it real, man. That's what boxing fans do. Keep it real. But we're gonna get right into Saturday, man. We're gonna get right into Saturday. And let's start with the main event. Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev, man. Now, a lot of people are saying that the fight was controversial, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's my thing. We knew what it was. And when I say we knew what it was, man, in boxing, man, when you have a fight of this magnitude between Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev, just like Tyson Fury and Usyk, they made 2 fights. They want to make 3 fights for Beterbiev and Bivol, man. Now, it's kind of crazy. I thought Bivol won the first fight. Like, there's no question in my mind that Bivol won the first fight. I thought Bivol did more than enough to win the first fight. You know, I thought he controlled the early part of the fight and did more than enough to win the fight against Arthur Beterbiev. But, you know, things happen. It was a close fight. It wasn't one of those fights where I was like, oh, yeah, Bivol won, and there's no question about it. Like, it was relatively close. It could have gone either way, in my opinion. And they gave it to Arthur Beterbiev the first time around. Second fight comes around, and it's a polar opposite of the first fight. The first fight, Bivol came out strong, won 4 of the first 5 rounds. And then Bivol was on his bicycle the second half of the fight and was running, and Beterbiev dominated. This fight was the opposite. Beterbiev started strong as hell, and Bivol kind of started real slow. And then Bivol picked it up in the second half of the fight and dominated. So clearly these judges, you know, every judges, you got to, first of all, I think they were influenced to make a third fight. That's number one. Number two, clearly they value the second half of the fight more than they value the first half of the fight. So when you factor all of those factors in, I'm not really surprised that they gave the decision to Bivol. That being said, we're going to have a third fight. I don't think boxing fans can really complain at the fact that we're going to get a third fight between these two guys. I'm pretty excited about it. So, I mean, we should all just enjoy the fact that we're going to get a trilogy between 2 of the best fighters of this era, between Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev. That being said, man, I saw a lot of good things from Beterbiev in that fight. And Bivol is going to have to come out more offensively aggressive throughout the fight, not in the second half, the first half, both the second and the first half of the fight, if he wants to beat Beterbiev in the third fight, in my opinion. Because Beterbiev is a fucking wrecking train, man. He never stops coming, and he really won't stop coming, man. So, good effort from both men. Great fight. Legendary fight, for sure. And at the end of the day, great fight, man. But I want to get right over to the Shakur Stevenson Gervonta thing. But before we get that, we got to talk about the 2-day notice. a lot of people were talking to me about the Martin Bacoli Joseph Parker fight, and a lot of us, we predicted that Joseph Parker was going to get knocked out. I definitely think he would have lost to Daniel Dubois. I want to first say I think Daniel Dubois was properly prepared, and he's on a winning streak of his own, just like Joseph Parker. And I think he would have knocked Joseph Parker clean the hell out had it been him. They ended up calling Martin Bacoli, who's a hell of a fighter, but on a 2-day notice, really a 30-hour notice. He comes off the couch. He comes in at 320. When he fought Carlos Takam, he came in at 299. I mean, when he fought Jared, he came in at 284. So we know his healthy weight is somewhere in the 290 300 range, right? 285 range. So for him coming in at 320, we knew he was a little bit too big. He wasn't properly prepared. And as it showed, Joseph Parker hit him in the equilibrium, which was a really good shot, by the way. Very accurate, very precise boxing shot by Joseph Parker to hit him on the equilibrium. That was all she wrote. He did make the count, but the corner stopped the fight. They didn't want to see it continue. And I think it was a proper stoppage, considering Bacoli looked a little lost on his legs. That being said, man, Joseph Parker's on a reign right now, man. At the end of the day, I get it was a 2-day notice, and a lot of people are telling me that Bacoli would have won had he had full time to prepare, and maybe that is right. Maybe that is so, but at the end of the day, we are where we are, man. And right now, Joseph Parker's on a reign where he's knocked out he's beaten 3 of the biggest punchers in the division. And Deontay Wilder, even though he's shot, you can feel the way you feel about him, but he was known as the heaviest American puncher in the division. There's no question about it. You got that. And then you feel me on another end of the spectrum, you got him beating Zhang by decision, and then beating Martin Bacoli, man. So I mean, this guy is on a reign. He's on a fucking crazy tear right now. And sky's the limit for Joseph Parker. Maybe he fights Kabayel. Maybe he gets a chance at Usyk. Maybe he gets the original fight versus Daniel Dubois for the belt. We don't know. I don't know, but I know one thing: Joseph Parker's been winning a lot, and he deserves whatever big payday he gets coming, because man, he's been working, man. He's been earning it, and he's shown you guys that at this point he's elite. Moving on though, I thought Virgil Ortiz did his thing against Madrimov. I predicted at the beginning of the week that Madrimov was going to win. I was very impressed with how he looked against Bud, with his in and out movement, good footwork, tricky timing. But I got to admit, man, Virgil just stayed the course, and he did what he always does. He cuts off the ring, and he makes it very hard for you to just move around on him. He's very good at cutting off the ring, Virgil. He's very powerful, and when he gets you cornered, man, you're in a whole world of trouble. And Madrimov found himself in a world of trouble on a multitude of different occasions. So you have to give credit to where credit is due to Virgil Ortiz, man. He fought his ass off. I thought he did well, really well. I don't think he looked better than Bud Crawford did, but I still think he looked very good. Very good that he looked. So these are all things that we have to factor in. Virgil Ortiz looked good against Madrimov. I don't think he looked better than Bud, but he looked good. He looked real good, man. Now we're going to get to Shakur Stevenson, man. Like the fight that Americans want to hear about. The fans that, we got to talk about Shakur Stevenson's performance against Josh Padley. Now, people are trying to run with this narrative that, he's an electrician, which he is, stuff like that. But I think what, like, a lot of people don't realize is, like, a lot of these fighters, man, that are good fighters, even like a lot of prospects and stuff like that, they're not making top of the line money. And when you're not making top of the line money, you need a second job. These boxers, they fight once every 5-6 months. I don't know how any human being thinks that unless you're getting paid like $3 to $5 million, that you can survive on a payday of boxing, and you can't. So I think us real boxing fans knowing that, there's no discredit to Padley because he wants to be an electrician when he's not fighting. To me, it sounds smart. It sounds like he's already preparing himself for after boxing. I actually think that's genius. People just think that boxers are supposed to fight for 50 years. Then a lot of them don't know where to go after that. So for people that don't know, man, it's best you just don't speak on the situation, I think. That being said, Josh Padley had a notable win. You know, you guys like to bring up Gervonta Davis's resume and stuff like that. You like to bring up Ryan Garcia and Roland Romero and stuff like that. Well, then we got to talk about how you guys want to make fun of Josh Padley, but Padley beat Mark Chamberlain. Mark Chamberlain was considered a worthy British fighter in a lot of people's eyes who know the game of boxing. And Padley beat him as a 10-1 underdog, something like that. So Padley's a worthy opponent. He's proven. I even thought he, came out somewhat aggressive against Shakur in the early rounds. Shakur took him a while to unravel. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate Padley for coming in and taking the fight. Honestly, that being said, Shakur did what he was supposed to do. He looked comfortable pretty much the entire fight. Yeah, it didn't hurt Padley till like probably the 6th or 7th round. But he was constantly landing all night. In round 2, he was landing some clean shots on Padley, real clean shots. I mean, he almost looked like he had him out in round 2. And that's what I'm telling people. Like, Shakur looked brilliant. He looked brilliant, man. I mean, the only critique that you can really complain about with Shakur in this fight, in my opinion, is that maybe he could have got Padley out of there in the round 5 or 4. You know, maybe don't play with your food. That's the only thing that I can critique. And the only reason I would even critique that with Shakur is because I think that highly of Shakur. When I think you're a tremendous elite level fighter, you know, and you're fighting a B- level fighter, you got to get him out of there. You know, that's really my only critique. He did get him out of there, got him out of there in round 10 with a beautiful body shot, dropped him 3 times, and finally did what he was supposed to do. Would have been happy if he got him done like in the 7th or 6th round. That would have made me really happy. Padley did go over the over was 7.5 rounds. He did go over, obviously. But like I told people, Shakur's not really a puncher, man. He's not a one-punch knockout artist. That's just not his style. If you're looking for Shakur to be a one-punch knockout artist, bro, this sport's not for you. Go find you another sport to enjoy, because you need to understand the sport of boxing before you start critiquing it. Gervonta Davis is a one-punch knockout artist. Shakur Stevenson's going to box you and make you miss. That's what he does. You either appreciate and love the art, or you think it's boring and it's not for you. I love boxing, so I like seeing fighters make fighters miss. That being said, I gave Shakur Stevenson's performance an A-. Like, to me, it does deserve an A. The reason I say that, what did Shakur get hit with? Maybe 1 or 2 shots the whole fight? I mean, literally. I mean, Padley had a really good round 1. Gave him round 1. He didn't give him another round after that. Thought Shakur dominated from start to finish. Really looked elite in there. Yes, his power looked a little lackadaisical, but Shakur's power never looks elite because that's not his game. He has respectable enough power and accuracy to make you respect his accuracy. You know what I'm saying? He's so accurate. I'm telling you guys, man. The way I see we're gonna break all that down later on, but I was impressed with Shakur Stevenson. I saw a couple YouTube channels come on YouTube, and really, it was going hard on Shakur. It was going real hard on Shakur, man. Saying stuff like he should have got him out there earlier, and like everything they're saying is true. I think he should have got him out of there earlier. You know, when you're an elite level fighter like Shakur, you have to critique tough. You just do. You just do, man. It is what it is. But that being said, there's room for improvement. One thing that definitely concerns me about Shakur is the constant hurting of the hand, man. Like, I think it was around the middle of the fight, he hurt his hand again. I'm so glad that he didn't use that as an excuse to not get the stoppage. He was still able to get the stoppage, man. Look, Shakur is a brilliant fighter, y'all. Like, I've seen enough from Shakur to know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm looking at with this guy, man. I'm looking at a guy who's a nightmare for 99.9% of fighters, damn near 100% of fighters, including Gervonta, because Gervonta has a certain style where he's looking for that exact shot, right? I've seen it time and time again. He's a brilliant fighter. He sets up traps, and he finds a way to knock out his opponent. Did it with Frank Martin. Did it with Rolly Romero. With Ryan Garcia, I heard he had a mole, and that's why he went for the body shot. I heard he had a cheat, someone spying in camp. So that fight, I don't really know. But even the Barrios fight, he set it up. He set it up beautifully. With all that being said, though, you have to set up the punch. Gervonta could find himself. This is the reality I keep telling people. Gervonta could find himself down on the scorecards against Shakur Stevenson, 6-7-0. Right? I'm not even joking. Like, people think I'm exaggerating when I'm saying this. Why is it so hard to believe that a guy who I have down 4-1 going into five, I had him down 3-1 going into round 5 against Frank Martin. Had him down 3-1 going into round 5 against Rolly Romero. Had him down in the 11th round against Barrios until the knockout. This is a guy who consistently is down on the scorecards. We see it at time and time again. He's always able to score the miraculous, tremendous, beautiful knockout that fans love. But what if he's not? What if he just can't get there? What if somehow, some way, Shakur is able to move around all of that, land the jab, counter, and just make it a boring chess match and has Tank running around looking for him the whole fight? These are all questions we have to ask ourselves, y'all. These are questions we have to ask ourselves. And this is the reality of the situation, man. I'm telling y'all. If Shakur fights Gervonta Davis will be very nervous. He will be very nervous that he's going to lose on the scorecards. That he won't be able to do what he do. You heard Calvin Ford say it. Do what we do. Do what we do. Do what we do means we're not going to be able to knock you out. You're not going to sit there and engage with us to make the mistake that's needed for Gervonta Davis to do what he do. That's what you're telling me. You're not telling me that, oh, Shakur is just scared or whatever the case may be. No one wants to hear it anymore, man. They're trying to sell the hell out of this Lamont Roach fight. I even have people in my ear telling me that Lamont Roach is going to win, man. I don't believe it. I think it's a load of shit trying to sell the fight. People trying to give Tank more credit than needed. And I think it's another cherry pick, man. But we're going to find out, man. I'm praying. I'm pulling for Lamont so hard. Like, I want Lamont Roach to win so bad, man. Lamont Roach deserves it because I've always said Tank just wants to keep picking these easy opponents and getting away with the easy shit. But if one of these so-called cherry picks gone wrong, like Munguia with Sriracha, I love cherry picks gone wrong. Gervonta, you better not sleep on this hungry bull, man. He wants to get you. I hope it's not all an act. And we're going to find out a lot about Lamont come Saturday. Is this guy putting on an act, or is this guy really coming out there to win, man? We're going to find out, man. I'm pulling for Lamont. Might even bet $10 on Lamont just because I just don't respect Gervonta. I think Gervonta is going to knock him out. Says he's going to call out somebody after the fight. If it's not Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis or Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta, save it. Save it for the next person who gives a damn, because it's not me. No one wants to hear you recall out Ryan Garcia. No one wants to hear you call out William Zepeda. No one wants to hear you call out anybody. Pitbull Cruz rematch. Like, cry me a river, Gervonta. We're tired of the bullshit. We're tired of the gimmicks. And people are starting to catch on to your bullshit. But overall, I thought it was a great card. Couple bullshit things happened at Riyadh, man. That just need to be talked about. Disturbing things. Carlos Adames dominated Hamza Shiraz. It was a domination, to say the least. I had him up 10-2 going into the decision, and they called it a draw, man. It's things like that ruin boxing. Shiraz is a Muslim. He's an Arab. These Saudis, Arab, Muslims, and somehow, some way, the Muslim, the Arab gets the draw, and the Dominican goes home with the belt. But if I were him, I would look at this situation and go, I'm never fighting on this card again, regardless of the money. Y'all don't even respect me as a champion. And they don't. So, I mean, that being said, I'm Gadames. I'm taking that as disrespect. I'm not going back. And this is the reality of the situation, man. Gervonta, we got Gervonta still scared, still nervous to give us the fights that we want, man. 30 years old, 2025, and we're still going through the same BS as boxing fans, man. I just want to know one thing before I get off of here, man. And make sure y'all hit that damn like button. Y'all know how I go. But when are we going to start holding Gervonta Davis accountable? We are men. We are not cheerleaders. You know, if y'all want to be a Gervonta Davis cheerleader, you know, I'm sure they got auditions and stuff like that. Gervonta looking for new cheerleaders every day. But if y'all want to be boxing fans, man, these are grown men. We are grown men. We got to hold men accountable, bro. We can't just be out here cheerleading for anything. Oh, yeah, Gervonta, I love Gervonta. He ain't knock anybody out just because I said so and he looked cool. Like, no, bro, that's lame. That's really bad. And a lot of y'all fans are getting exposed, man. I saw this Instagram post the other day where Keyshawn called out Gervonta Davis, and all the Gervonta fans were just saying, "Oh, he's not ready. He's not ready. He don't deserve that fight. He don't deserve that fight." But Lamont Roach does. Y'all like y'all gotta make it make sense, man. Y'all don't know boxing. If you don't know boxing, just I'd rather you not speak on it or have an opinion on it, because what you're doing is you're halting fights that need to be made. For real boxing fans, and if I see some of y'all casuals, I'm gonna slap the dog shit out you for trying to ruin the game of boxing and ruining the sport that we love, man. Stop doing that. All right, y'all. I'm gone, man. I just had to come on here and speak my piece about the show, about Shakur Stevenson's performance. Joseph Parker pretty much stealing the show in Kabayel. And the heavyweight division is wide open now. You know, we got a lot of players in the heavyweight division. Gervonta Davis, are you going to fight one of the guys that we've been asking for? Shakur, Keyshawn, Abdullah, Teofimo? You let me know. But we don't want to see Lamont Roach. But I will be betting $10 on Lamont Roach because we love underdog stories. We don't cheer for Gervonta Davis, man, out any circumstance, man. All right, we gone, y'all. Middleman TV, man. Peace. Deuce.